Tug for Nash TV with MCA recording artist Sam Hunt. Welcome home, man.
Hey, thank you. Good to be here.
I'm telling you, we're at the Whiskey Blue in Atlanta, and Sam is from Cedartown, so it's a homecoming of sorts, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I got to sneak in on Thanksgiving last week, but really other than that, I haven't been home in a long time, so it feels good to be back.
What's the best part about being home?
Well, just growing up in Georgia, there's a lot of good feelings just being in the state, but I get to see, I get to stop usually when I'm here and see my folks. All my relatives live pretty close to the area that I grew up, so usually that's my favorite part, getting to catch up with everybody.
Yeah, your mom Joan, your brother Ben.
Yeah, the whole gang. My grandmother, we played a show last night, and she got to come out and
That's awesome.
hang out. Had her little spot right in the very front row, so sitting on one of the subs.
Right.
Yeah.
What's it like for her when she sees you up on stage?
My grandmother?
Yes.
I'm not real sure. I couldn't figure out what was going through her mind. She was just looking up at me the whole time, and I couldn't read. But she's excited. She's supported my music from the very beginning. She bought me my very first CD when I was growing up.
What was it?
Conway Twitty.
I love it.
Greatest Hits album, yeah. But she's the best. But the whole gang, they're awesome.
Yeah, I tell you, your music is incredible because it's so dynamic. And the thing that I see, and I don't know if this is what you think. I know I read a quote from your mom, Joan, that you grew up on some Alabama, on some Beach Boys, a little bit of everything. And then I know you found R&B on your own. But it's kind of funny that Alabama, they had that R&B feel during the early 80s, but then you do some spoken word stuff as well, and it reminds me of even earlier country, like a Tom T. Hall that's spoken word.
Yeah, absolutely. And even, we just mentioned Conway Twitty. He did a little bit of that. It's I guess I don't really know where that came from. I'm sure some of that music that I was around and other genres of music where that's more prevalent. But yeah, the fairly diverse sound, I guess. But hopefully there's something on the record for everybody.
I think so.
Because of that, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think so. It's incredible to see people who are talented, and you're certainly one of those folks. Not only in music, country music, but you were an athlete too.
Yeah, I grew up playing ball and never had any idea that one day I'd be playing music. But stumbled across the idea of buying a guitar the summer after I graduated high school and fell in love with it. I was always a huge music fan, but never thought about playing music, playing guitar or singing or anything like that. But since I bought that guitar, I've been head over heels for it.
Yeah, no doubt. There's I imagine days in your life when that you can't have something better happen. You were drafted in the NFL.
Actually, I was a free agent, so I went to camp. I wasn't drafted in the draft. But, I finished up playing college ball and I had that opportunity. It was short-lived, but it was cool to get to go out there to Kansas City for a short stint. But I was pretty dead set on moving to Nashville about that time, so I wasn't too disappointed when I came back home and made the move to Nashville.
What was a better moment? And I know you're going to say music, but I have to imagine it in the moment, playing there in Kansas City for a little bit, and then getting the record deal. I know they're so different, but was one better than the other?
Yeah, the record deal was pretty special. Just because I had wanted to make a record from the first time, when I moved to Nashville, and they're expensive to make, so this record deal gave me the opportunity to make the record that I wanted to make. I had put out some acoustic songs because they're a lot cheaper to make. But anyway, yeah, that was really huge, especially because specific to the label that I signed with, because there's so many great people there, and they've become my family now. So it's turned out great.
You mentioned acoustic, performing acoustic a lot, and I talked to your guitar player Ty, and he talked about how you guys played a lot of stuff acoustic early on when you guys first moved in together. Your roommates now, he said, for about 4 years. So that struck me funny because your music is really up tempo, a lot of it, or at least there's a lot of production. There's a lot involved in it. So to strip it way down, I thought would be tough, but Ty tells me no, you guys, it's not as tough as it seems.
Yeah, it started there. It started acoustic. All the songs started acoustic, and all the other stuff we added that was post, the songs existing. So it's just a blend that I guess just came across naturally. I've always loved acoustic music, but I also like the dynamic of a lot of the instrumentation, and I like drums a whole lot. I like the rhythmic thing. So that was just, we kind of brought those two worlds together. And we still strip stuff down and do it acoustic, so we can kind of get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, no doubt about it, and it was incredible here today, the acoustic set, and you got a show tonight and here in town. Is there anybody that you see here in town outside of family, like ushers from here in town, and there's so many people from here in town. But I saw a tweet that you sent out, and it was what is it? It's something A-Town Down.
Oh, okay. Piece of A-Town Down, yeah.
So immediately, isn't that the beginning of a Usher song? Like, yeah.
I can't remember which song it is, but that is.
I was like, is this guy with Usher? Who are you hanging with?
I was just a shout out to Atlanta for being in Atlanta. That was just me being silly, but yeah, we were in town a couple weeks ago for a concert, and that popped in my head. But Usher, you're right, is somebody who's an R&B artist from Atlanta. Lots of great R&B music has come.
Of course.
So being so close to Atlanta growing up, I'm sure I was, subconsciously soaking a lot of that in, and that's how it came out later. When I started writing songs.
Is there anybody that you're starstruck by? I mean, you're early in your career, is that you've met so far, or that you've seen here in town, or you've been able to rub elbows with? Anybody that you're like, holy cow, can't believe I'm hanging with this person?
I get that feeling when I think about the radio, because the radio meant so much to me as far as music goes growing up. I grew up listening to you guys, and when I think about the fact that this is the same station that I'm being played on now, that's what really is tough for me to wrap my head around. And I don't really run into a whole lot of celebrities, so I guess that's not as much as been
always on the road. Right?
Yeah.
I was talking again. Another conversation that Tyrone and I had was that I think most people think in Nashville that you guys are rubbing elbows with Florida Georgia Line and Jason Aldean, and though you're acquainted with those guys and friends with those guys, oftentimes everybody's on the road, so you don't get to see some of your buddies in the music industry a lot.
Yeah, when I first moved to Nashville and was working as a songwriter, people would ask me, well, have you met this person, or have you met that person, referring to artists. And you're right, I've realized now even more after being on the road that when you're working as an artist, you're really never in town. You're never in Nashville. So I keep up with a lot of those guys and have, in passing now, met a lot more than I had then. But but you're right, we kind of live out here on the bus with our team that we work with.
Sure. We'll finish up here, but what's next for you? What do you want to do next? What do you want to accomplish? That's a broad question.
It's a great question. I think I'd love to, have the chance to make a second record. I haven't really put a lot of thought into that yet, but so far so good with the success of this record. So hopefully we have an opportunity to do that. My favorite thing right now is touring, having a record out, because we did a lot of playing over the summer and back in the spring with. We had a single out in the summer, but other than that, we didn't really have a lot of music out. And it's really changed the live show, because people are able to buy the record, live with the music, connect with it, familiarize themselves with it, know the lyrics. Now when they come out to a show, they know a lot more songs, so that helps the live show.
When you do a second record, because you're going to do a second record, there's no question. I mean, the first record is incredible, so there will be a second. Is there anybody you'd like to collaborate on that? Anybody you'd like to work with, that bring in or request somebody to work with you?
I haven't put any thought into that yet. The relationships I have with the guys that I work with, the producers and the songwriters, those relationships go back so far that sometimes it's hard to start new relationships and get to a place where you have that connection. That takes a lot of time. So I don't know. I haven't really put much thought into branching out any further than.
What about a dream though? Like
another artist or something? Yeah. I don't know. I'm a huge fan of a lot of folks. Somebody asked me that question the other day. I'm a big fan of John Mayer's songwriting, so that's somebody to be cool to write with, maybe.
Absolutely.
Someday.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for an incredible performance here.
Appreciate it.
We'll call it your hometown of Atlanta.
Absolutely. We had a blast. Thank y'all for having us.
You're more than welcome. It's Tug along with Sam Hunt, and you can follow him on Twitter @SamHuntMusic. Follow me on Twitter @TugCowart, and we are here for Nash TV.